Well, good morning guys. Here we have the long awaited Beechcraft Staggerwing. I thought I'd have a go at putting it together today. We'll start with the fuselage, and as you can see I've test fitted, as I always do. Before gluing, I've test fitted all the parts together and they seem to fit together nicely. Now, although I've sort of designed a new jointing system, this one was printed already with the glue together part. So I mean, it's already printed, so I'm going to go ahead and put it together as is. And we'll check it from there. If in the event that, and it will eventually I guess, get damaged, then we'll look at fitting it together with the lock joint system. But anyway, that's enough said. We'll start putting it together. Okay, to start with, this tail section, there's a couple of little gussets, little whatever you want to call them, that fit in here. It has to be printed this way because with spiral printing it has to keep going in a loop, and unfortunately it will only climb at around about 45 degrees, so we can't put a horizontal piece in there, so we have to climb at the 45 degrees. See that? So I've just made a couple of little gussets that fit in to the fuselage to block off, or to make it back to the 90 degrees. Now these are marked left and right, L and R. So the left hand side of the fuselage, that will slide in there and just be simply glued in place there. So I'm just going to put a dab of glue in there like that, and make sure I've got the one with the L on. And that will slide in there like so. There we go. A little bit of spray. Wipe off any excess in there. As you can see, I'm using the just the cheap Hobby King super glue, CA, and also their accelerator. So, okay, and now I'll glue the other side in. There's a little gusset or insert. It's got a little slot in there for the servo, if you don't want to cut off the servo lugs. Yeah, I'm just wondering, with this, if you didn't cut off the servos, then the servos would probably have to be fitted at this stage. As you can see, that sort of clips into there. Because I'm going to install the servos with the tabs on before I put it together, they won't be able to come out. So I've put the extensions on the servos and I've tested the servos to make sure they're okay. I've done that before, put them put a servo, glued a servo into a wing or into a fuselage, only to find out when I come to connect it up that the servo or the lead is not working. So that said, we shall slide. If you decide you want to fit the servos afterwards, that's fine. All you have to do is simply nip off the lugs, and you can drop the servos in and glue them in there. That's fine either way. So I'm going to slide the servos into the little notch like so. They won't need gluing in these. Test fitting them first. That's fine. Okay, now glue this in place. Servo wires don't get in the way. Here's the tip. It's there, but we're not going to glue that on yet because we need to be able to slide in the slot there for the horizontal stabilizer. So we'll leave the tip off until that's glued in place. Okay, I'm going to go and stand that there, glue the section together. As much as I test fit these things, I like to always, before I glue, I like to always just do a simple test fit, make sure everything's going together good. Because with super glue, unfortunately, you don't get a second chance and you don't get long. I don't think I'm going to glue that in just yet. It would be really nice actually to be able to remove that, but it fits on its perfect ring. But anyway, I'm not going to do that then, just glue that in place yet. Okay. Before I glue the tail on, I'm going to finish this nose off. Here's the firewall, or the front former. As you can see, I've fitted the two lock nuts inside the former there, because once this is glued in place you won't be able to get to these two. These two are okay because you can get to them. They're a press fit in to the fuselage, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a dab of glue just on there, just to make sure they don't come out. Making sure I don't get any glue on the thread. Will fit into there like so. This is the motor I've elected to go with on this one. And the nose and everything has been set up for this particular motor. If you use a different motor, then you would have to reduce the nose cone slightly to compensate for the different size motor that you're using. Okay, so anyway, first of all I'm going to glue the firewall in place. As you can see there on the front there, I've made provision for down thrust and side thrust on the motor. I think, from memory, I think it's 2 or 3 degrees down and the same side thrust, so if it needs more or less you can adjust this by just popping a little washer under the motor bracket just to kick it a little bit one way or the other, so, but I think that should be fairly close. Okay, I'm going to put this together because I'm pretty sure I organised the hole, the centre of this, so that the motor will be in the centre as it comes through, as it protrudes through this ring in the this is the false engine, or yeah, the mock-up engines. Now these have all got a little tab. There's a little tab there, a little tiny tab there, and there's a little tiny slot there, and the same at the front there, so that everything lines up. A little tab there as well, so that everything should line up together, so we know which is the top and which is the bottom. There's also a little slot there, so we know which is the bottom, so everything should line up properly. Okay, first of all I'm going to glue this into the front, making sure the tab is in the right place, and yeah, I can just guess that in there. Again, the nose has got the angle for the down thrust and the side thrust, so if we make this mock-up engine level, make sure it's level visually across the front of that, it should be okay. Okay. I have to keep looking at that screen because every now and again, I don't know why, every now and again it decides to knock itself off does the video, so I'm sure I don't know why, but anyway. So I'm making sure we've got that little tab wherever it is. Soap it all over my fingers now. Where's the damn tab? There it is. And there it is there. Making sure they line up. And then I'll do a visual across the front of there. That's looking pretty good. Now I'll put a little dab of super glue around there, just to make sure it's not going to come out. I've got super glue all over my hands now. Okay, so that's pretty well lined up all the way around, I think. So I've done a visual on it and it seems to be lined up with the face there. If we've got a leak in this bottle, I seem to be having it all over the place. So now I'm going to fit this on here again, lining up the little notch there and the little tab there. This is a little fiddly to get on, but it does actually go on, but it is a bit fiddly. I think it might be easier just to put a dab of glue there, and then we can feed it in, and then I can actually glue it in from the back. So I think we might do it that way, because it is quite fiddly, this. Okay, that's gone in there now. Now I'll just put a little dab in there. I'm sure it's all lined up. Okay, now I can run a bead around the inside to glue that nose onto this front section. Okay. Now I'm not going to glue this on there yet until I'm sure, you know, I get the motor mounted in there and everything's in place. In fact, what I might do, I might going to say I might add some little tabs on there so that I can actually screw that in place, but that, in actual fact, I could screw that in place anyway, so that should I want to work on the motor or change the motor or anything, I can actually take that off. So that might be a better plan. But anyway, that's that. Now I think we'll go ahead and glue the rear section of the fuselage in there. I'll make sure that, just do a final test fit, just to see which is the best way to get these things to fit in. Okay. Probably going to have to cut a little hole in there for the servo wires to go through. I will actually make a little recess mark. It's not a big deal, we can always just cut a little hole in there. This LW PLA, the lightweight PLA, does actually cut quite nice, or it drills quite nice too. Unlike ordinary PLA, which tends to shatter if you try and drill it, this actually cuts quite nice. Okay, as I say, I don't think I'm going to put this, I'm going to glue this in place as yet, because I need to put the gear in there and one thing and another, and I'm not sure that might be an idea to be able to remove that. Not sure. But anyway, that's and then this is the hatch that fits in there. So we've virtually got the fuselage together. I think we'll finish with that for now, and I'll come back and do another one fitting the motor and the gear and the tailplane. Now, with the tailplane, I did actually print up a tailplane so that this thing can be totally 3D printed, but I really am not sure whether I should go down this track, because of the weight. I'm not sure whether I should do this or make the tailplane in foam. What I might do is, once I get the wings together, I might test the CG and just see how it's going. Before I actually put this tailplane together, and we'll see if it needs to be made from foam. I think I made the slot so that it would take 6mm Depron, or yes, it takes 6mm Depron or the 3D printed. So either way we can use the Depron or the 3D printed tailplane. Okay guys, that's all for now. I'll come back with part 2.